So welcome back, and yes, we're continuing on to some more percent problems. These have a little bit different spin on them. Percent of increase or percent of decrease. So they're very similar, but there is a little bit of a thing you have to pay attention to. So the percent of increase, the formula is a little different. We have the percent over 100, the amount of increase over the original amount. So notice that's still the part. The amount of increase is the part. And the bottom number's got to be what the original amount was in the problem. Or if I'm talking about percent decrease, it's still the percent over 100, but the amount of decrease is the part that it went down. But I got to pay attention, what did it go down from? What was that original number? So what was that original value that it decreased from? That's going to be my original amount. So, for example, and you may have witnessed this, the rent in an apartment building was increased from $425 to $450.50. What was the percent of increase? So there's our question. What was the percent of increase? That's what we're looking for. So we also have to identify what was given. Well, it looks like we were given, it was increased from 425 to 450. That's our given information. So one thing we've got to pick up on is, since we're looking for a percent of increase, we actually got to find the amount of increase. So since it went from 425 to 450 and 50 cents, that change in amount is my increase. So to find that change, I can use subtraction to find out how much that changed by. So 450 minus 425. And we see that that's going to be just, looks like just $25.50. Nothing really strange about that math. So $25.50, that's going to be the increase. The other thing I got to pick up on is I need to know what the original amount was. So the original amount what was that? Well, it went from 425 to 450.50. So the original amount was 425, and this represents the final amount. So my original amount is the $425. Again, what we're looking for was the percent of increase. So we're looking for the percent. And again, since we don't know that, that's going to be our x. So our setup again is, we don't know the percent. That's over 100. The amount of increase was the $25.50, so the $25.50 goes there. The original amount was $425. So there's my setup. Now I need to cross multiply since this is a proportion, so I have 425 times x, or 425x. And that has to equal then 100 times 2550. Remember, when you multiply by 100, since this is a decimal, multiplying by 100 increases that place value by 2 places. So it becomes then 2550. So 2,550. Now, this tells me that since this is multiplication, I can work backwards and use division. So 2550 is going to be divided by the 425, and that is going to give me my solution. So again, I'm going to let the calculator do that final step for me. So 2550 divided by 425, and that gives me 6. That gives me 6. So again, remember we were looking for the percent. So therefore, what we had was then it was a 6% increase. And that makes sense because the rent didn't go up a whole lot. 425 to 450.50. That doesn't sound like there was a huge jump, but it is quite substantial since you're doing that probably on a monthly basis. That would add up over time still. So that would be a good example of a percent increase problem. Stay tuned.